Hi, I wanted to do a video on how to make the viewfinder and to grid your portrait. So we'll start. You need a small piece of paper, a ruler, a pencil, and a black and white photograph that has dramatic lighting. You want a nice shadow area and a highlighted side. Think about the 6 categories of light: the highlight, the general light, the shadow, the reflective light, the core shadow, and the cast shadow. So you want a nice photograph. So we're going to be drawing 1-inch squares on the portrait and 1 inch on the viewfinder. So the viewfinder is just any small piece of paper. You want to measure out on the ruler. We've got 1 inch, 2 inches. I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to make a long line at the 1/2 inch and shorter lines at the 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to turn it. Now I'm going to do it again this way. I'm doing 2 inch, 1 inch to 2 inch, just so you can see where it comes out on the ruler. Once I have my square, I'm going to mark off those 1/2 inch and 1/4 inches. And boy, they really help you draw anything using this grid method. So there's a 1/2, here's the 1/4. Turn it. Here's the 1/2. Here's a 1/4. And one more time. 1/2 and 1/4. Just make my 1/2 inch a little bigger. Then you got to cut this out. So just fold it, snip it, snip it harder than that, old scissors. That way I can get my scissors in there. Try as carefully as you can to cut out that square, because at this point any small variation can really affect your drawing. There we go. So we got a 1 inch. So it isolates one section at a time to draw it. That's all you're looking for. It's amazing how much you can draw using this method. All right. So next thing we have to do is grid the drawing. So I printed it out. It is a little under 6 inches. I'm just going to put the 6 on there. And it's about 4 inches this way. A little bigger, but that's all right. So then I mark it twice. This is going to be important because you can't really trust your eye to be able to see nice straight lines. So I do it twice. I come back down here. 1 inch, here's the edge, 2 inches, and I'm off camera, there it is, 3, and here's 4. Now I know it's going to be nice straight lines, and for this I use a pen because it's a dark shadow on the picture. I line up my pen. You can even use a red pen because this is just a guide, and even in the dark parts I can see it. I line up my ruler with my pen. All right, and then I number it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'm going to do this side. You don't need to cut out your photograph because you need those sides to put your number on. There's 4, 5, and 6. Come over to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now they're lined up. Hold the ruler. Draw the line. And then I'm going to number this one. Isn't she pretty? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we are going to enlarge it on a larger piece of paper. So this is a piece of drawing paper. It is almost 12 inches by 9 inches. So I'm going to have extra. I could leave it and make it just a background. So I'm going to start at the top. And I have 4 inches across, which I'm going to turn this into a 2-inch squares. So I'd have 2, 4, 6, 8, and then some extra over here. That could be extra background. So I'm just going to leave it. So I'm going to mark off 2 inches, 4 inches, 6, 8 inches, 8 inches, $1. No, there's an old poem like that. Do it 2 times. You can't trust your eye to do straight lines. So again, 2, 4, 6, 8. This time I'm going to lightly draw the line. So I line up my ruler with the top one and the bottom one. And I'm barely holding the pencil. I'm not all choked up on it. I'm holding it way back here, and I just let it drag, because eventually we're going to erase those lines. That's important. These are just guides that will then get erased before we do any shading. You're going to draw just outline. You're not going to shade until you're all done drawing the portrait. And then you'll erase these guidelines, and then I'm going to demonstrate how to shade. So there's one, and I'm going to lightly just put it in there, because sometimes even I get messed up. I've done this a lot of times. 2, 3, 4, and this is extra. I'm going to then grid it long ways. So I'm going to mark off 2 inches again. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I actually have my picture 6 inches. So I can actually use this bottom square down here. It's up to you how big your paper is. If it is 8.5 by 11, print out your picture 4 by 5.5 would be good. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Draw those lines. Now this is what's due on Tuesday. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to find a picture, print it out, and grid it. Now, some people don't have printers. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? You can, on a Word document or some kind of a document on your computer, you can take the printer or the image and put the grid on with a line on whatever document you're using, whatever program. And then you can just draw from your computer. I would say it's harder because the next thing that's really important is using your viewfinder. So I've got number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in my picture, if I put 1, 1, that's this square right here, I barely see anything. It's just a little corner of her. I've seen the 1/4 inches, and it's even smaller than that 1/4 inch. So to really be precise, if I mark up my drawing, here's a 1/2 inch, here's a 1/4 inch, here's a 1/2 inch, here's a 1/4 inch, I know it's smaller than that. That's all I have to draw. Then I come down to this one. So now I'm on row 1, column 2. I see her edge of her scarf coming right to the quarter point. So I'm going to, again, make a little notch for the half and the quarter. And this is all I have to draw. Oh my goodness, I'm almost done. Come down to 3. It's starting to curve in. It's even curving into this quarter. So I'm going to mark this half, this quarter, and I'm just going to connect that scarf there. And then it comes down just under the quarter. Double check it, and there you go. And there's 2 more lines, so I'm just going to lightly put them in there. And I'm not thinking what it is I'm drawing. I'm looking at shape, I'm looking at line, I'm looking at sizes. I'm not thinking this is somebody's face. That doesn't matter. And then here's number 4. There's hardly anything there. It comes to the quarter, so half, quarter. That's the edge of her scarf. There's a little bit in 5 coming out of the shadows. So I'm just going to slightly mark where her shoulder is in number 5. So it comes from the top quarter lightly to the bottom quarter. So here's half and quarter. And it's really light. And then there's sort of a shadow. Half and quarter. It comes just short of that quarter line and up. Every once in a while I can peek. Oh, what could that be? It's really just a shadow. Okay? Then you can come right back up to the top. And this is going to help you so much. So, here's box number 2. Here's the corner. You can see where it was on this side. Now I'm going to mark it here. It comes almost to the top. And I just connect those lines. The second line is actually the top of the scarf. It comes at the 1/4 inch. So here's half. Here's quarter. And then it comes down almost to this quarter point. So here's half. Here's quarter. I see it coming almost to there. And I'm going to hook these up. So that's part of her scarf. It looks like there's a little bit of a section of hair. And then I can see a little bit of the top of her forehead, just cutting off the corner. The rest I'm going to leave. I don't want to draw every line of her hair until I start shading. Really, it's just the shapes. So then the picture gridded and the viewfinder is due on Tuesday. You take a picture of this and this, upload it in the assignment, and you get all your points. Then on Thursday, your drawing is due. Just the outline, okay? So it will take maybe an hour, 2 hours to get this all drawn in there. Don't shade it, okay? Then I'm going to do a demo on shading. In 2 weeks, you'll have to shade 2 eyes, or 3 eyes. I think it's 3 eyes. 2 noses, and 2 mouths, just to practice. And that's on a separate sheet of paper. Then I'll grade those, and then you can come back to this and shade this one. We're going to do one more square. I'm going to actually do the eye. Everybody gets a little nervous. First, I got to get in that eyebrow. So this is, I'm going to actually trim off the top of this paper so you can see where I'm drawing. There we go. So I ended at 2. Now I'm going to go down to 2. And again, it's just 1 square at a time. So her eyebrow comes just under the 1/4 point. So here's half, Here's quarter, just under there. It comes almost between the halfway and the quarter point this way. So here's half, here's quarter. This is where her eyebrow ends. It seems big when you're drawing it because you're going from a small grid to a big grid, but trust the grid. It will help you so much. I did a painting that was 40 feet by 9 feet with 2-foot grids, and I was on a ladder for a lot of it. And if I wouldn't have trusted the grid, I would have made a hot mess. There's a little bit of her shadow coming at the quarter points, a deeper, darker shadow, which looks like it's the edge of her hairline, and then the edge of her scarf. And now I know everything's going to fit in there. Again, this is just light lines. I'm hardly pushing with my pencil because eventually I'm going to erase out the grid. I won't need it anymore. Okay? And then I'll be able to shade it. So let's do the eye, and then you're all set for this week. Oh my goodness, I love that eye. That's beautiful. So, make sure my grid is lined up. I'm going to start with the edge of her face. Come here. There you go. The shadow comes at the halfway point. So there's the halfway point. And the shadow was up here. It kind of curves in at the eye. The eye is right at the top part here. So it starts in the corner. It almost touches the top. And the inside of the eye starts just short of the halfway point. So once I plotted that out, I can make that arch. Then the bottom of it comes about halfway to the quarter point, so that's there. Then I know how big her eye's going to be, and it's my lemon shape. She's got a little bit of eyelid that goes right through the top. Then I see the quarter point is right where her pupil is. And then the eye fills up the space as a curve. Again, I don't need to shade it. I'm just going to draw the outline and then move on. Underneath, she's got a little bit of wrinkle. You can put some of that detail in there. But when you start shading, it'll make more sense when it's all done. There's that shadow. And there we go. So once you're done drawing it, you're going to take a picture of this, and that's due on Thursday. On Monday, tomorrow, I'll do the video of shading the eyes, nose, and mouth, and you can start on that if you get this done ahead of time. And then some of you I know have already taken beginning art. Some of you are in painting, some of you are in drawing. And if you want to jump ahead, if I can show you as much of the video's demonstration as I can, you can get ahead. All right? So, good luck with this. Again, this viewfinder and this gridded photograph with the numbers is all due on Tuesday. You take a picture of it, upload it in the assignment, you get your points. Then on Thursday, this drawing is due, just the outline. Don't do any shading. Good luck, everybody.